Hello and welcome. My name is Lino Tadros, and in this video, we will discuss and demonstrate the second type of evaluation, which is the quality of evaluation. This type of evaluation assesses the overall quality of the generated answers using multiple evaluators provided by PromptFlow. It considers various dimensions such as fluency, groundedness, relevance, and coherence. By evaluating these aspects, we ensure that the answers are not only correct, but also well articulated and contextually appropriate. Quality evaluation is ideal for teams that use integration into continuous integration pipelines. By automating this evaluation, you can definitely continuously monitor the AI assistant performance and catch any regression or issues early in the development process. Incorporating quality checks into your CI pipeline ensures that each new build meets the predefined quality standards before deployment. Let's go ahead and try it out. All right. And in the previous video, we showed you how to deal with the prompt evaluation. This time, we're going to go with the one that says quality evaluations. Let's open this up and explain what's going on. A lot of things are the same. The way we're going to create the main and the Azure configuration and the OpenAI endpoint and the key and all of the stuff the same. Even the base run is pretty much the same. We're going to actually point to where the source is for the flow. And also we're going to use the same 10 or 11 different records in my JSON-L file that I used before that contains some data that contains ground truth and contains also the questions and the answers in it right away. Same like before, I'm going to do a base run based on the client in here. We'll pass the flow where the data is. We'll do the column mapping and we keep streaming equal to true. We're also going to get the first 10 records coming back from the get details. The new thing in here is that I'm going to create a file called responses.json.l, and I'm going to actually start bringing in the relevant columns that I need from that file. All right, I'm going to put them into a dictionary, and then I'm going to end up using JSON dumps to create that file based on that. Then we get to the interesting part. This is the difference between this one and the previous one for prompt evaluation. In this one for the evaluation, first of all, I need to create a model configuration. And there is a class, of course, that you can actually instantiate for the configuration. You'll pass it the endpoints, the key, the environment for the chat deployment, and the API version. Great. Next, I need to create an object also for the Azure AI project that contains my subscription ID, the resource group name, and the project name. And we already have all the stuff in our .env file for the environment, so everything will be okay. The fun part in here, I need to initialize 4 new variables, and each one will use an initialization of a class, one for Fluency Evaluator, and one for Groundedness Evaluator, one for Relevance Evaluator, and one for Coherence Evaluator. This is just to instantiate all of them with the same exact model config that I created above this. Then we have a data variable that will be pointing to the responses.json.l that I just wrote out. And we will also create, hopefully, a unique file, which I'm going to start with the word prefix, and then I'm going to put like a date timestamp in here right after the word prefix, so I can give them always a unique evaluation name, as you can see in here as well. Okay? And then I'm going to try, my last thing is to run the evaluate command. And the evaluate will be able to take the evaluation name, which I just created, the data file that I just also have all the way at the top that I open. And then I'm going to be passing all the different evaluators that I would like to evaluate with. In here, I get to choose only maybe 1 or 2. In here, I'm going to choose all 4 as the object of the evaluators: the fluency, the groundedness, the relevance, and the coherence as well. Plus, of course, I have to pass the Azure AI project. And finally, I'm going to give it an output pass to create a brand new file that will contain the answers in it. So right now, we don't have that in the project, but I'm telling it the output needs to go on the root in a file called QA flow quality eval.json that will contain the answer for all the 11 different records based on each and every single one of these 4 evaluators. And then if something goes wrong, please write it out and let me know where it went wrong. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So you can copy and paste that code on how we created the run and the evaluate, and you can run it on any of your prompt flows to be able to get fluency, groundedness, relevance, and coherence on any of your data set to find out how you're doing as far as these 4 different evaluators go. All right, let's go ahead and run it. We'll go here. I'm going to do a Control V. Notice I'm running Python. here, and the folder is evaluation, and the name of the file QA quality eval.py, as you can see here on the side. Let's go ahead and run it, and let's see what happens. It will take a few seconds to start, and after that we should actually create a brand new file at the root of the folder in here that contains the answers to all 4 different evaluators. I'm glad this happened actually during the recording of the video, because it's important for you to know. Whenever you see a 429 error is taking place, that probably because your limit per minute on the calls coming in have exceeded actually the limit that you have set. And I want you to see actually how we can actually fix a problem like that. So whenever you see these 429s and it says request to the chat completion under Azure OpenAI blah 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 has exceeded core rate limit of your current AI services as Siri pricing tier. That means that maybe we forgot to move the sliders to be able to allow more connection or request to the LLM within a 1 minute period, for instance. So you'll get these 429. That's a very, very typical thing because they don't give you so much different requests per minute. You have to really request more and more. So you have to keep filling up forms to get more and more requests to do that. I think for this one specifically, I kept it very low. And how did we hit that? Remember, there are 11 different requests that will have to be made because I have 11 records. So if all of them happen really fast, I'm only allowed like maybe 10, probably the 11th one will fail within 1 minute, all right? So if it's happening too fast, if you're lucky enough and it's taking more than a minute, it's probably gonna pass. So this sometimes will pass, sometimes will not. But the way to fix it is to go back to the Azure AI Studio and change the rate limit to give it a little bit more oomph. And let me go ahead and show you how to do that. The first thing, let me go ahead and open up here my browser. I'm going to go back to Azure AI Studio. We click all the way at the bottom where it says deployment. These are the 3 different models. 2 of them are for the LLM and 1 for the embedding. I think right now I'm using 3.5 Turbo, but I could have easily used 4 or 4.0 or whatever. And if I click on the GPT 3.5 Turbo, the one that is causing the error right now, let's go ahead and say edit this guy, and I want to see what the throttling is and what the limit is. It's very low. See, tokens per minute rate is 20. That means the going back and forth cannot be more than 20 for the tokens and 120 RPMs and so on. So let me go ahead and be a little bit generous, move it maybe to like 100 or something, and that will fix the problem. So we'll keep it here at 121 is good enough for me. We'll say save and close. All right, that will actually take place. And now I'm going to go ahead and minimize this again. And let's go ahead and try to run it one more time. We'll go up and we'll say, go for it. And indeed, it looks like this one is successful and is going to end up doing the job. Not only that, it even wrote out the entire trace because I did not change my trace to local. I kept it from the last couple of videos and it's going directly to the portal in Azure. So I should be able to go and see actually even the trace if I want to based on all of that. But it was actually successful. What I'm expecting now, hopefully somewhere on the root, that I will get a new JSON file. And there it is. See, QA flow quality eval.json. If I click on this guy, let me make this a little bit smaller in here to be able to read it. And what I would like to see is that the rows that are coming in, let me see if I can format this a little bit nicer. And the way to do that, by the way, is to right click and say format document. And now we have a much nicer JSON file to read. You'll see that the rows, that is the question I was asked. There is no history. Like I said, these are completions. And then the input answer will be right there, the input context in there. And then if you keep going down, you'll see every single part of the documents that came back. And now we'll have the fluency score, the groundness score, the relevance score, and the coherence score. So you're getting pretty good 4s and 5s, and maybe the coherence is a 3.0. So that's important to know as well. And then we will go to the next question. Remember, there would be 11 of those, right? There is the question, there's the history, that's the answer. How did the system was able to work out? Fluency is 3. Groundness is 5. So always groundness looks like it's in pretty good shape, except the relevance and coherence is going down to 3. So again, you'll know that you might need to work on that. Maybe change your prompt to make it better so that you can get a better answer as well. And again, you can go through each and every single one of the questions that were asked and the answers that came back, and you will be able to read, of course, all the different scores for everything from the evaluator inside of Azure AI Studio right away. Isn't that pretty cool? Hopefully that was useful to you to see how this works. And even before I go, let me go ahead and cheat a little bit. I'm going to try to find out from the answer in here if I can get to the HTTPS. There it is. all the way till the end. Let's see, where does it end? It ends right there. Okay, we'll say Control C, this guy. And let's go back to our portal in here, open up another tab, and I'm going to be pasting that. Unfortunately, you cannot get to it any other way. So you'll have to actually copy and paste that. Oh, let me see, I did a mistake. Let me see what it was. Yeah, I think I pasted the wrong thing. Let me just go ahead and do it again. There it is. Hopefully this one will work. Oh, wait a second. This is not a trace. This is an evaluation. What am I thinking? Sorry about that. No, you will not be able to do. This is not a tracing. This is an evaluation. That means I can get to it actually from the Azure AI Studio. So if I go back to my Azure AI Studio in here, you'll notice all the way on the left side, there is one called evaluation. See that? If I click on it, the last two evaluation, one of them was not completely complete for the quality. And this is the latest one I just did a minute ago. All right, let's click on that and see what I can see in the portal instead of reading it in the command line. You will notice this will be a JSON format, and it will load actually based on all 11. That's the average, 3.64, 464 for the fluency and the groundedness and the relevance. But every single one of the 11 questions will be in here. See, that is awesome to be able to evaluate it this way. So all your questions coming in from that JSON-L file will be in here. And you will be able to see what the question was, what the history was that was involved in the prompt, the answer, the context, and then the 4 different scores based on each and every single one of the evaluator. And then all the way at the top will give you an average. So you can actually set a rule in your company and saying, anything below 4.75 for groundedness we cannot take. We'll have to actually do something. We have to change the prompt, get a better model, do something, but this is what we've set. You can maybe set it to 4 for fluency, 4.75 for groundedness, 4.25, and say anything below that we'll have to do some more work and vectorize maybe more data, or trying to actually get a better, more modern model that will give us what we are looking for the correctness of the relevance and the coherence and so on. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody, and it will help you understand how to do evaluators based on the quality of the LLM and the prompt as well. Thank you for watching, and please, if you like it, click on the like button. And if you'd like to be notified for future videos, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.